What is up, everybody? Welcome to the Throwdad podcast. It's your host, Ryan, aka Throwdad, back with another episode. I'm super excited for today's topic. It's one I think pretty much everyone who's into yo-yoing thinks about, and it's how to get better at yo-yoing, how to improve. So I have 5 points here that I think are worth touching on how to get better at this hobby. And what I think is enjoyable about this subject is it can be talked about from any skill level. So this is going to start from the beginner phase all the way into advanced. So depending on where you are, whoever is listening to this episode, if you are new to yo-yoing or if you've been yo-yoing for decades, hopefully this can remind you of a period of time for yourself and maybe give you a different perspective on how to continue to improve at this awesome hobby. So let's jump right into it. How to get better at yo-yoing. My first point here is to build a foundation. So what is a foundation with yo-yoing? Really, that is the fundamentals, the mounts, the classic tricks. I think almost all of us had spent some time on the Yo-Yo Expert site or on like Yo Tricks on YouTube, learning these beginner tricks. And this is a very important time, and I think is a very rewarding time. You know, yo-yoing is not one of these hobbies I feel that in the beginning you don't get to enjoy it. I loved checking off my trick list cards and stacking up my knowledge in this beginning time. And it's so vitally important. The stronger and more solid you can build your foundation, the less headache it's going to cause yourself in the future, having to like go back and learn things. And also, it's just going to make it so much easier for you to develop style down the line. So when it comes to building a foundation, spend your time learning these vital mounts, spend time learning classic tricks, really try to get them fluid and smooth. The cleaner you can learn these tricks early on, the cleaner your style is going to be way down the line. It just saves you so much time if you get it right from the get-go. All sports and hobbies are like this. When you're skateboarding, you have to learn to push around before you can learn to kick flip, before you can learn to drop in, etc. So build a solid foundation, enjoy your time here. There's no rush to get out of it. For myself, this would have been when I was like 10 years old that I first started learning tricks on like yoyoexpert.com. And really, I was a kid, so I didn't think much about like creating my own tricks or anything like that. I probably spent about 5 years just learning tricks from videos and stuff. I would occasionally mess around with like combos, like stacking them together. But overall, I spent 5 years learning the foundation building phase. And I don't think there's a set amount of time you have to spend here, but spend a decent amount of time building a solid foundation. My second thing, which can run in parallel to this, is develop your taste. So notice I say develop your taste, not your style. I think in the beginning, it's too early to develop a style. Really, you're focused on execution in the beginning. Did you land the trick or not? So developing taste is something that comes a little separate from that. So while you're building that foundation, taste is what you like. What do you enjoy? What interests you? Watch other yo-yoers on YouTube and Instagram. Maybe start like a saved file of all these tricks and video parts that you like. That's developing your taste. And even though you can't execute what you're seeing, it's building that style in your brain of what interests you, what flows you like, what tricks you like. Do you like dense tech? Do you like flow? Do you like whip tricks, slack, whatever it is? That's developing that taste, and that will come in handy down the line. You just don't have the skill set yet to execute on it, but that does not mean you don't know what is interesting to you. So this is something I still do. I have a long video list on like a private file on YouTube. I want to make an episode eventually about videos, but I think it's just a great way to find out what you like. You can find different players that you resonate with and to start building that taste, and eventually the skill set will catch up. Because that's what's happening in the beginning. You know what you like. If you build up your taste, you know what yo-yoers you want to emulate, not copy, but emulate. And then you're just waiting for the skill set to catch up to that taste. And it will. It takes time. But if you start developing the taste early enough, it will speed things along. So Number two is develop your taste, and that can come parallel with building that strong foundation. Now, once you've been doing this, like I said, spend your time in those phases, comes learn from others. So now you have learned those foundation tricks. You can do Buddha's Revenge. You can do Skin the Gerbil. You know all the mounts. You know what you like. Now comes time to learn tricks and combos from those people that you have been watching. So we're still in an emulation phase, right? You might say like, man, I love Charles Haycock. I love Tyler Severance. I want to learn their tricks. So you're still in a learning phase. You haven't really created a lot on your own yet, but you're learning the style of those that you appreciate. This is huge for me, and I still do this. This is something that you don't like time out on. You can do this forever. Learning tricks from people that you like they're playing. One, it gives you a glimpse on like just the mounts and shapes they're working with. And for myself, I'll start learning tricks from these people and it will inspire so many tricks for myself, right? It just puts you in positions, like physical positions with the yo-yo that you would not find yourself in, because we all find ourselves in ruts doing the same things. So learning from others, learn tricks and combos from the yo-yoers you love, the yo-yoers that you added to that playlist of the taste that you like. That's the next phase. That's getting you closer to developing a style that you are proud of, is just gathering up more and more knowledge. So you see all the way from these first 3 points, which really will last you years of yo-yoing, is foundation and emulation. If you can build the strong foundation, you can emulate the people that you enjoy, you're really steering the ship in a fantastic direction of a style that you're proud of. So that was number 3, learn from others. Now the fourth one is where we start getting a little more creative. This is where your own style is going to start to develop, and that is to practice exploration. So this is like a teetering point, and it takes some practice. From this up till this point, you're used to like, here's the tricks I do. You might have like a little practice routine, and you're really just doing stuff from muscle memory, because you learn from a video, you practice till it's smooth and effortless, which is great. Now, when you start turning to practice exploration, you are practicing without a game plan. Maybe you have a mount that you like, and you're just seeing what unfolds in front of you. This is how tricks are created, is getting yourself into positions and just bouncing around through the strings and seeing what shape you end up in next. It's a very Rubik's Cube problem-solving thing. But this is where that style, that taste that you've been developing turns into your own style. And you have to schedule times like this. You can't just expect a trick to like plop in your lap. Maybe it happens from time to time, but I've said before that I believe if I pushed myself, I could make a trick every single day. That doesn't mean it's going to be a good trick. It doesn't mean it's the best trick ever. But if you throw enough stuff at the wall, eventually you will get something desirable. So just waiting for a trick to fall in your lap, it might happen. But if you continue to schedule time to just explore the yo-yo, you're going to end up with a lot more material than you would otherwise. So enjoy this time. I personally just like putting on some chill music. I like jazz, and just seeing where it takes me. And I find myself in some really cool spots. And even if it's not a trick that you're gonna showcase in a video or competition, it's normally shows you something that you can take and apply to the next trick. And it just, that snowball keeps growing and growing from that point on. Now the fifth point is gonna be let your style develop. This is something that kind of happens passively. And I've gotten DMs before about how do I improve my style? How do I make my yo-yoing look more stylish? And it's patience. There's no shortcut to developing style. Most of the people that you were developing your taste watching have been yo-yoing for 10, 15, 20 years. And to be honest, I get comments sometimes that are like your flow, or I love your style, or whatever it might be, which I'm grateful for comments like that. I have put almost zero effort into thinking, what is my style? What do I do? It's been following these bullet points. Like, this literally is what I've done. It's watching other people, saying, I like that, and emulating. And if you copy or emulate from enough people, enough different yo-yoers, and sometimes not even yo-yoing, from jugglers or cardistry or skateboarding, like there's certain things that like you can take inspiration from. If you take inspiration from enough places, you'll develop your own style. Style is just that. It's just spending time finding what you like, finding what like pacing through tricks, like all these little things add up over time and you can't rush it. So just let your style develop. Continue working on these points, learn from others, explore the yo-yo, and eventually you will have a style that you're proud of. Something that's not a point here that I want to talk about though is that style is fluid. What your style is at year 2 of yo-yoing is not what your style is going to be at year 5. And that's why I'm a fan of just like creating relentlessly, is because you as a person are going to change and grow. Your tricks are going to change, the style you do. I think we all have like these tricks that we do every time we pick up our yo-yo. Those tricks that I did 5 years ago, I might not even remember those tricks anymore. So it just shows that like your creativity and muscle memory and what's interesting you just changes throughout time. So as long as you keep your taste sharp and keep the things that you want to emulate in front of you, your style will always be something desirable. But don't pressure yourself on like I need to be more stylish in my playing. Just yo-yo more, watch enough people, and then be patient, and those things will come. I know patience is like not the advice anyone wants to hear, but unfortunately it is the case. And I really stand behind most yo-yoers that we watch and that the community knows has like fantastic style have not been yo-yoing for a short amount of time, especially on the more old school style. I'm talking 2010 style yo-yoing, Jensen Kimmett, um, uh man, I'm blanking on all these names right here. But anyways, 2010 era of flowy tech, Charles Haycock, Yuki Spencer, there we go. Some great players. Um they've been yo-yoing for a really, 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 really long time. So it just happens. And you can enjoy every part of this journey. I'm going to go through them again. Number 1 is build a foundation. 2 is develop taste. 3 is learn from others. 4 is practice exploration. And 5 is to let your style develop. That's how you get better at yo-yoing. That's how you get better at pretty much anything, any hobby in life, in business, in work, whatever it might be. But and then the catalyst to all this is just be patient and have fun. My one of my favorite quotes is the man who loves walking will go further than the man who loves the destination. Fantastic quote. And if you just really enjoy yo-yoing, you love practicing, you love watching videos, you love exploring, you're just really about it. You're going to go so far and are going to develop so much in your journey because you're not looking at a destination. You're just having fun and the results just come as a side effect. So that's my take on how to get better at yo-yoing. There's really we could talk about this for hours and hours. There's no right or wrong way to do this. It's a toy. It's about having fun and playing. But if you're like me and take this thing rather serious, or at least you take your hobby serious and you want to improve and continue to improve, this is my take on how to get better. Let me know in the comments of wherever you're watching this. What are some things that you have implemented, if it be in your practice routine or even just mindset? I'm a big fan of like mindset shifts that you think has impacted your playing the most. What has made you better? What has allowed you to create more tricks? Whatever it might be. I'm really interested in this type of topic. I love talking with other people about style and progression because that's what is so fun about yo-yoing or really any hobby for me is this, no matter what's going on in life, you can have this feeling of forward momentum and progress. So thank you guys so much for stopping by the Throwdad podcast. I hope you were able to take at least something from this that you can apply to your own yo-yoing and hopefully get some uh, progress and more you can improve in your personal journey wherever you're at. If you're at the beginning or if you're at the end of the list that I just covered, I hope you have something that you can take away. So thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next episode.